Hey everyone, it's Mark Zielinski and welcome to MUP Armada. And of course, I am here joined by...
Andrew Carolus.
Yeah, Andrew. And yeah, this episode we're going to talk all about your exciting adventures at Adepticon and of course, the Armada tournament at Adepticon. Very, very exciting. So, but first, how you doing, Andrew? Are you recovered from the trip yet?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. No con crud this time, which is always a good thing. I like to think it was the crisp Wisconsin air, but who knows? Could be any reason whatsoever. But yeah, I'm doing good. I'm recovered. Got my sleeps in, and ready to talk about how fun it was.
Fantastic. I saw Matthew from Mini Wargaming came home with con crud. So he was, I didn't watch the whole video yet, but he was looking pretty wiped out. So
yeah, it's not to say that it wasn't going around. I guess I just got lucky. But yeah, there's thousands of people there. Definitely a larger turnout than previous. I mean, it's just going to keep getting bigger every single year. So yeah, really good show for sure.
absolutely. Well, before we dive in big time, I heard that, did they give numbers at the show? I heard rumors that there were 10,000, so which would be a pretty big increase. So
yeah, so 2 years ago it was about 7,000. Last year was just over 8,000. If we hit 10,000, I wouldn't be surprised because it's in a very walkable area, getting lots of people off the street just wondering what the heck's going on in there. So yeah, if we hit 10 grand, that'd be awesome.
yeah, I think you probably did. So, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to it for next year. So I'm going to get myself cycled in. I just couldn't make it this year. So, but yeah, you guys had to scout it out, shake it down, and kind of go from there. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Stress tested for me before I go. So, but
sure.
Yeah, I talked to a couple people. It was a show. People were tired. So.
Oh yeah, so a big change from previous. So in previous last I don't know 10 years or so, it's been at the Schaumburg Convention Center, and overall that's a pretty condensed building. So lots of stuff happening in a very small space. Versus this, the Baird Center, and to that matter, 4 floors of the Baird Center, both north and south building. It was a lot of walking involved, lots of large open areas, which is fantastic. We want lots of space to grow. But yeah, it was more than the previous years, to say the least.
Well, there you go. I'm sure you won the Fitbit challenge handily this last week. So,
oh yeah,
I actually missed those. We used to have this inner podcast Fitbit challenge, and then Fitbit went ahead and ruined the Fitbit challenges, I guess I'll call them. But they were international. We had people from Canada, the UK, the US. It was great. So, but
cool.
Oh well. So well, this is such a vast topic. I am going to flip the chairs here and put you in the driver's seat, and you just kind of weave your tale of what a good time you had. Start with the first day, however you want to do it, and of course, I'm very excited to talk about the Armada tournament. So
definitely, we'll dive into that. So, since I only live half an hour away now, I don't need to get a hotel room, even though I still kind of want to get one next year. We'll see how it goes. But very easy for me to drive right in and park and check it out the place. We went in on Wednesday to pick up our badges, and compared to previous years, definitely a better experience. They had big long lines and stuff, but as soon as we started moving, we were moving. They got us our stuff, got us our bags, and kicked us back out the door. But lots of vendors.
Did you get the big massive swag bag or?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, both my wife and I got it, and it was definitely worth it. It's funny too because right after we got home that night, I actually I hopped on to the Adepticon swag bag swap group. The chatter was all lively with who wants this, who wants that. So I traded away a couple things I didn't want for a couple things I really wanted, and definitely came out ahead in my favor.
There you go. So did you both end up with a Skaven Tide set?
We did, and then I picked up a third one for trading away some Star Wars.
Wow. There you go. I would have made that trade too. So I don't know why, but I would have.
It's not that I don't like Star Wars. I love it. Grew up on it, but the games, I just never got into them.
Very, very cool. All right. So you guys got there Wednesday. You got to get through the line, and then?
We saw some people and then realized that these things we were carrying were extraordinarily heavy. So, shoved those back in the car, went back in, and kind of browsed around a little bit, checked out some of the vendors that were out in the aisleways. Because even though the vendor hall was bigger than ever, the quantity of vendors was as big as ever. So we still had Toledo Game Room out in the hallway with all their bits, aka the Bits guy. Still had Elrix was out in the hallway, which is pretty cool. They always have a bunch of cool stuff, and there are a few more. And so we browsed a little bit, and then we took off for the night just because we had an event to do in the morning on Thursday.
And that event would be
Mantic's Armada. Super fun. They I don't know if I like it being on Thursday. So previously it's been on Fridays. Well, it originally was on Saturday, then it moved to Friday. Been there for a few years, and now it's on Thursday, which I get as it gets, kind of smaller and smaller in stature compared to, say, I don't know, Halo. Um, yeah, it's going to be on the lower priority days, which Thursday is one of those days, and that's fine. But normally we have like kind of a rest day between picking up the badge and playing, so that our Thursdays are usually shopping days. And oh my god, first world problems. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. But it wasn't so bad. We actually, to rewind a little bit, on Wednesday we did check out the Mantic room, and one of the rooms that had a bunch of Mantic tournaments, and
was the Mantic night on Wednesday night? Supposedly they had like a little Mantic night. Was that on Wednesday or Thursday night?
I'm not sure. I didn't know about it, so I did not attend.
Yeah, they were like Blake made an announcement on some kind of thread or somewhere. It's like, hey, we're having a mini Mantic night. So it's like, okay.
Oh, that could have been Wednesday night. They were still setting up. But yeah, we did check it out, and we did find Blake, and we're catching up with him for a little bit. He was pretty cool, as always. Who else did we see? I feel bad, but the other guy. We talked to the other guy a little bit, too, and he was real cool. They were just, stressed from the setup and all that, but they were having a good time already, so that was pretty fun.
Very cool. So how many people were in the tournament this year?
So, funny story about that. When we did get there on Wednesday, checking it out, we saw that there were only 5 tables set up. And we're like, oh man, only 5? Or maybe it was 6. Either way. So we were checking out, and Blake comes over, and we're talking to him, and he's like, yeah, half the people that would have been participating actually kind of work for us. So because of the crazy schedule with all the new Halo games and all the demos they were doing and everything else they were running, all those people got peeled off to go run all those events. So unfortunately, it wasn't as big as previous years where we had, 18, 20, 22, but we still had a respectable 10, and we still made it a good time of it.
Oh, there you go. So Mantic was responsible for nuking their own event.
Sinking indeed, pun intended.
Sinking the ship. So, but
it wasn't all bad. It was. There's still plenty to enjoy with it, I guess.
There you go. Well, why don't you go ahead and take us through it?
Sure. So Thursday dawn rises, and we all go in, and there's 10 of us there. We had. Basically, 6 of them were part of my coterie, I suppose you could say. It was me, Sean, my wife, Andrew, the other Andrew, James, and Caleb. So that's like my group of friends that I dragged in and have been in because it's such a great game. And then we also had Mike from last year, a second Mike, who was his first time. He had a good time. And then we also had, who were they? There were 2 more. Can't remember the names. I didn't play them, so I don't remember. But, yeah.
That's all right, but you had 10, so that's awesome.
Yeah, we still had an even number. Still made a good day of it. And of those 10, for the fleet breakdown, we had 4 salamanders.
4 salamanders? I'm sorry to interrupt.
4 out of 10 salamanders.
And 4 of them are salamanders? Wow. Yeah. Okay, that's popular. They win most popular right out of the gate.
They sure do. We also had 1 orcs, 1 elves, 2 abyssal dwarves, and 2 ghosts. So
all right. So nobody brought the new abyssal fleet then.
Yeah, fleet distribution was kind of low, but that's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. See, that just means you got to practice against the salamander fleet, so you'd beat it the next time, right?
I played against salamanders the whole day
You played salamanders the whole day, all three games.
because Mike had salamanders, and then I played James who had salamanders, and then I played Sean who had salamanders. So all I played was against salamanders.
There you go. What? So, what fleet were you running?
I had my ghost fleet, very similar
Oh,
to
okay.
last year. Just a couple little equipment upgrades or changes. I
Oh,
previous
very, very
year,
cool.
yeah, previous year I had two specters and two spirits, and then I had ogres on the spirits because I was like, yeah, I'll plow them through something and deal extra damage. But it didn't really work, so I swapped it out for master carpenters on those and kedge anchors on the specters. Because in practice with my wife, we found that kedge anchors are very, very useful for those extra turns. So yeah, first game we played was in hot water from Seas of Flame. That's been the kind of like the standard go to for scenario one kind of every year, is to have the volcano in the middle and then survivors to rescue, and hopefully you don't get set on fire. It's a pretty fun one. Um, and now naturally being a ghost, I'm immune to fire, which wow is a good thing because I would have gotten set on fire at least 4 to 5 times. He rolled a lot of ones for the damage, so I'm like, oh, good. I take 1 damage. Moving on. On the other hand, I also happened to roll a lot of ones, so he got set on fire. I think it was like 4 or 5 times, 3 in the first round, and or I guess it was second technically. But yeah, it was not good for him. It wasn't so bad because he was salamanders, so he put him out. It wasn't really an issue, but yeah, no explosions on our tables at least. But I was able to get around him, and it took a bit of effort, but I was able to catch up with his fleet because I kind of moved to the left. He kind of went with me, but sent some stuff to the right because he had a lot more ships than I did, and he was able to capture more dudes right off the bat, but I was able to cause enough damage to make at least, I think it was like 4 or 5 of his ships end up surrendering. So he lost all those loot counters.
Oh, wow.
So,
So, how
yep.
did it turn out?
Ended up in a victory for myself for round one, which was, always a good start to the day. And,
Absolutely. You didn't have to submarine your way to victory. So,
oh, we'll talk about submarining later. But it's not in the same context, but it certainly happened. Oh, yes.
very cool. So, now,
Yep.
what fleet was your wife playing?
She was using the Abyssal Dwarves.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, because she uses regular dwarves a lot and really likes them. So we're like, let's try the Abyssal Dwarves. Get all those rerolls and stuff. But um, yeah, it just plays different. So
There you go. Yeah, I think Rob Fanuff played the other. I think he took Abyssal Dwarfs too. So.
yes, Rob was there. He actually played Nicole on the first turn or first mission. So it was
Oh,
Abyssal
so you
Dwarves
had
versus
dwarf
Abyssal
on.
Dwarves.
Well, why not?
Of course, why not? It's
Very,
quite
very
amusing.
cool. So, how'd her game turn out round one?
She did defeat Rob, as is tradition, and yeah, but they had a great time. So, because it's always a good time playing Rob. He's just a really fun guy.
Great. All right. So now you're riding high in a victory and
Hmm.
going into round two. So,
Yeah, round two was Flotsam and Jetsam from the main book. That was the one with lots of, was it more? Yeah, it was more loot counters to pick up. But these were numbered and randomized. And another cool thing. So Michael, I don't know which one he goes by, but he was the one who was running this one this year. And one of the cool things he did was have a set of terrain on the side for all these games, and between you and your opponent, you could choose to deploy terrain how you saw fit. Now there were some minor rules, like couldn't be closer than some amount of inches to a table edge or another piece of terrain, whatever. But it was pretty cool to be able to just kind of throw out, yeah, I want that over there or that over there, instead of it being regularly set or uncomfortable. So, like if you and your opponent just wanted nothing on the field, you could do that, and that's fine too.
oh, fun. Yeah. The new Champions has player set terrain too. I wonder if that's going to
Hmm.
become a new thing for Mantic Game.
Yeah, I'm sure it surely inspired this because just having that choice it was cool. It was nice, and because Armada terrain isn't too intense, putting out a couple things is no big deal.
There you go.
So,
My ships always seem to find the islands and the sandbars. So,
oh, oh yeah. My first game, Mike, I don't remember his last name, but it was his first time playing against ghost ships or the ghost fleet. So I was running through all the the good and bad that I do, and one of the things was we were talking about terrain, and he said, "Well, how do you interact with islands and stuff? Like, do you just not get immobilized because you're floating?" I'm like, "No, if I get immobilized, I die. I just go away." So he was like, "Oh no!" As he put down an island. What a shame. But it was fine. I did not immobilize myself. Didn't lose any ships to terrain, which is good. Sorry, I lied there. But again, we will get into that. So, scenario 2 was Flotsam and Jetsam. Lots of little dudes pick up right off the bat. So I was playing James. He had a veteran heavy salamander fleet. So he had the Tyrant or the XL ship, and then 3 others, and they were all veterans. So I was getting hit a lot, and it was painful, very painful. But he picked up the good loot counters first. I was flying all over the place trying to get what I could get, and it wasn't until the later turns when I was finally able to whittle down some stuff and knock it out of action that I could pick up those other ones and pull ahead. So I did end up winning my second game as well.
Oh, nice! So you're setting up in a nice position here for round 3. So,
oh yeah. Yeah,
very,
round 3.
very cool.
Yeah,
so
round 3 was a good
Nicole
time.
Do?
So who did she play? She played Sean second round, and Sean defeated her with his salamanders. So she was on 1-1 at that point. I'm 2-0. So naturally, that's 2 wins for Sean. And going into round 3, it was me and him as once again showing down for first place. We did that last year too. Last year was me against Sean. Same fleets. He had his salamanders
very
before.
Nice.
I had my ghost last year, and we're doing it again.
Well, you won last year, so why don't you take us through game number 3?
Of course. So, scenario 3 was Icy Waters, which we did play last year. Tons of fun, bobbing up the icebergs and stuff. And I won most of the roll-offs. He won a couple, though, so he was able to put a couple out. That slightly annoyed me, but realistically, they didn't play too much effect until the end of the game, which will be where we talk about what I had mentioned prior. Anyway, so this one we set up in the corners, and basically we just try to kill each other. Not a problem, except I had won the roll-off, I think. Because the winner sets up their entire fleet first. So I was like, okay. So I face it all. Honestly, I face it all to my left. I had deployed in the right corner, just so I could, have it all on my side of the board and not really have to reach too far, because it was the end of the day. I was feeling pretty tired after lots of sleep deprivation on my own part, but we'll ignore that. And I just didn't want to reach across the table. I was like, I just ready to scoop my boots along my side of the table. And that, of course, allowed him to deploy in the same manner, or at least pointing towards where my fleet was going to be, which for him was a very good thing. Now, first 2 games, I didn't really play much against the XLs that my opponents had, or the larges, because I was terrified of them, and rightly so, because an XL versus not XLs it can be scary. They have lots of firepower, lots of shenanigans. Well, my good buddy Sean decided to load up his tyrant with all of the shenanigans, including a captain, that bloody captain, that gives you grappling hooks, an extra +1 to board, and some other silly thing, all for a measly 8 points. I was like, oh my god. Because in the act of maneuvering and trying to get away from it, I ended up pointing myself in the wrong spot, and that tyrant got nice and close and managed to board one of my larges, one of my specters, that I did not keep going fast enough. I should have gone faster, but I just didn't think of it. So he also had that ship that gives +1 speed or +1 move to everything. Wow, really had a big effect. having a tyrant with all those boarding buffs, also a red rudder, and moving 4 inches, terrifying because it came right at me and it boarded me and promptly sunk my Spectre. I was like, oh my goodness. So, having lost, I would say, half of my effective combat strength, because realistically the spirits are just there for shenanigans. Having lost half of my strength in that one blow, I was like, well, I see how this game's going. So yeah, it didn't go well after that. I tried to escape with my second Spectre, but he was able to board that one too and promptly destroyed it.
Wow, he
So I was left.
boarded both of them?
He did. Just
Wow.
a combination of mistakes on my part and good moving on his part, shenanigans. He boarded both. I mean, he needed a 3+ to board my ships, and he was a regular skill dude. It's like, ugh, icky. So, yeah, it was very very damaging. So he sunk both my Spectres, and that was definitely games in the bag at that point. So I just had my 2 spirits flying around. I'm like, you know what? Let's see what happens. I took one and plowed it through 2 of his ships, hoping to get any points by causing damage. I knew it was going to heavily damage myself, but whatever. Plowed through him. He rolled high on both of his ships, causing 38 damage in total, and even with sturdy construction, I only had 34 health. So, bloop goes that ship. But in return, what did I do? I rolled 2 1s. So I did very minimal damage, did not sink a thing, promptly submarined myself.
Well, it was not your game, it sounds like.
No, that last one, I was just making mistakes all left, right, and center. But the end was fun because, I did that. And then in the same turn, I was like, okay, I got 1 Spectre, Tyrant's bearing down to me, iceberg ahead. I was like, I want to replay the Titanic. So I crashed myself into the iceberg and died. I was like, no, we're done.
Yeah, why not?
Die.
Oh well, you gotta love games like that. But hey, you got to keep playing though too.
Totally.
I don't like just giving up and saying, okay, you got me, and just push it over there. So.
Hey, this is Ash Walker
and Zakama13,
and you're listening to the Mantic Universe podcast.
So much universe, so little time.
This is Ronnie Renton, and you are listening to the Mantic Universe podcast.
There you go. Now, the big question is, how'd Nicole do in round 3?
Round 3, unfortunately, she also took a loss there. So, she went 1 and 2. I went 2 and 1. But, it evens out in the end.
There you go. So, you took the household crown?
Yeah, in a way.
Again this year, yeah. So, it's okay. Bragging. You got to get bragging rights after a game like that some way, somehow, right? So,
yep.
Very, very cool. So, do you have the final rankings on how everybody, who got all the big awards and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah. So, let's see. It was first place, naturally, was Sean with his salamanders. He took first place with that. Second place was that was the other Andrew with his ghosts. He ended up scoring higher with his 2 and 1, so he took second place. I actually came in third place with my ghosts.
Oh, nice! Congratulations!
Yeah.
See,
Thank you.
Podium. Getting a podium is always a bonus.
Yep, got my nice little dinner plate of a medal. The medals this year are huge.
I saw it. They look like they almost looked like Captain America's shield this year.
They did. They were ginormous, which was fun. So we were just clanging them around, having a good time. But let's see what else. Oh yeah, Caleb. Okay, he got the best painted with his salamanders, and then Nicole actually won best sportsman.
Oh, nice!
So yeah, we both came home with medals from that one. It was a good time.
So both came home with the hardware. That's a good thing.
Yes. Yep.
Very, very cool. So so that happened first thing in the morning then. So you guys had to be done by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, if not sooner?
Well, they changed up with the time frame on that, and previous years they were done at 2:30 or 2 o'clock, which is pretty cool because then we had the rest of the day to hang out and have fun. Unfortunately, this year, I don't know, unfortunately or not, he did extend the rounds to be 2 hours. No, Yeah, like 2 hours and like 10 to 15 minutes, something like that. So plenty of time to finish the games. Because another thing is previous years it was only 6 turns. This year he bumped them up to 8 turns and gave the full 2 hours and change for the rounds. Now, I finished all my games. I think most people did too. So no feel bads there. Downside is that we ended at 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m.
Oh, wow. Just in time for dinner.
Yeah, which it's fine, but it did kind of cut into social time or whatever. It's first world problems.
And the other thing, the dealers hall closed at 6 o'clock, so
it sure
you guys
did.
probably missed the dealers hall the whole day. So
we did. Yeah, weren't able to get over there at all, which it's no big deal, saving money. I mean, I spent it later, but yeah. So it comes with good and bad to have it be longer. I'd say overall, probably good, just because then when everybody finished their games, there weren't any unfinished games, no cliffhangers, stuff like that. So overall, not bad, but just a change.
Very, very cool. Now, I hear Milwaukee was absolutely head and shoulders above the Chicago location for food. So did you guys go out and experience some of the local Milwaukee eateries? Or
we sure did. So we went out over to the 3rd Street Market, or the something market. Anyway, it's kitty corner to the Baird Center, southeast side. I highly recommend it. And actually, I'm in some of the pictures from that day. So did we go out that day? Yeah. Thursday we went over to the market. Really cool place, full of all sorts of food vendors of all stripes. You can order from your phone, and then they text you when it's ready, so you don't have to stand in line. You just find a place to sit, or you can stand in line and get stuff, whatever. Anyway, lots of good food there. I got the foot-long mozzarella stick because I had to.
Yeah, well, what your cardiologists have to say about that? So,
well, here's the thing: I shared it. I also shared it. Like, I got through a third of it. I'm like, this is delicious, but I'm going to share it with my friends because we all went out afterwards and hung out. That was really good. And that same day, the Adepticon photographer went over there because they're like, hey, everybody's going over the market for dinner after all the tournaments. So they were snapping a bunch of pictures, and I managed to end up in 2 of them. One when I was waiting for my foot-long mozzarella stick, and the other one we were all sitting together at a table. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's always fun when you end up in a picture. You know,
of course.
It's good because, well, when you're taking pictures, you are never in them.
Right.
So it's nice if you get a picture that you're actually in for once. That's kind of like the curse of the dad. You know,
right.
The family's got all sorts of pictures. So.
But I'm just not in it. Nope. I know that all too well. I did take lots of pictures of the tournament as well, by the way, and I'm going to be posting them both on the Facebook group and on Discord and probably my blog. We'll see.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we'd love to see them. Yeah. But so, folks, you can go over to the MUP Facebook page, and Andrew will post up some photos for you.
Yeah. I did also try, we went out to the Brat House for one of our dinners, and it was pretty good. Obviously, it's full of brats, but lots of options, lots of really good food there, as always. One of them that we did not get to, but I wanted to do next year, or I guess kind of anytime because I do live nearby, is Doc's Smokehouse, so barbecue. Didn't get a chance to it, but we'll get over there.
Oh, very good. Well, with 10,000 people there, did you feel the restaurants were crowded? Did you have to wait a lot, or?
The first night we went over to the Miller Time Pub, which was, it was really close. And yeah, that was an hour-long wait. The rest of it, though, so Broad House was, it's like 2 blocks away, but nice walk because that was the 70-degree day. That was no wait, really. I mean, even though it was a small place, we found a place that would fit us. So, yeah, not really any kind of wait there. And same with the market. We went during a busy time, but, you plug your food in, it was ready about 10, 15 minutes later. So, really no big deal.
Oh, okay. But, well, that's good. Yeah, it can get crowded. When we're down there at Origins and there's 15,000 people, the restaurants can get crowded. But same thing, we typically try to maybe go a little bit off hour and, you just kind of stick your nose in there. The people that are there know that there's big conventions and they're used to working them, so they know how to pump the food out. So, which is
Yeah,
pretty good.
they were on top of moving the food. Like when we were at the Broad House, we just saw food going out like all the time, and it was a hopping place. So totally get it.
Very, very cool. So, well, your Armada tournament was over, and you're still at Adepticon. So you're
Hmm.
waking up. It's Friday. You're rolling out of bed. So where do you guys head?
So we always take one day on, one day off, and it was our day off to go shopping. We hit up the vendors and just kind of checked out the rest of the con at that point because when you're in a tournament, you don't get to see anything but the room that you're in. Even if you have breaks, you really don't have time to get around as much. So we explored it top to bottom. Went through all the shops. There were 170 vendors to pick through, and that was a really good time.
Wow. Yeah, I hear the Wing to Sar booth was cranking. So did you get a chance to stop by there?
Did I? No. I mean, I walked past it a few times, probably. I don't think I stopped in with them though.
Oh, there you go. Well, I hear the books were selling like hotcakes, so which
That's
is
good.
good.
Yeah,
it was
that's what you
really
want.
good. They said it was the best show for Mantic stuff that they've ever had. So,
Oh, that's right. I did stop in at the end. At the end on Sunday, I did stop in, but I'll get to that. No, that's great. I did talk to Blake a little bit while he was sitting there working over at Mantic, and tons and tons of foot traffic. So I have no doubt that they did really well.
oh, cool. Now, did you see the champions set up? I know you didn't get a chance to play, but
Um, mm,
they didn't have. I think they were going to set it up on Saturday. So,
I don't think I did.
Yeah,
Saturday I was
okay.
busy with something else. No,
There
I
you
didn't see
go.
champions. No,
All right.
that was, I believe also that was in a different room. In the room with us, they had Halo set up. And this is going to dovetail into my Sunday purchase, but I was hanging out at the table there. I was talking with Mike about something, and I see, all the awards and stuff on the table. Like, there's some really cool Spartan statues that are like 6 inches tall. I was like, hey, how do I get one of those? He said that you can only get that by winning in the Halo tournaments. And they're like, it's never going to be for sale. It's never going to be an STL. You can only get it by winning. And I was like, oh, really? So I went and purchased stuff on Sunday to get myself into Halo so I can go win one next year. So I want to win one and paint
very
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, did you see? So, what other vendors or anything that you saw on your Friday tour? Anything else stand out to you?
Oh my God, so many. There was one I don't remember what it's called, but they had a bunch of like really cool, really intricate figures that you could get. Mostly fantasy, probably like D&D-esque figures, but they're really cool. A little on the expensive side, but really cool to look at. Who else? You know what? It's all a blur. It was a big show. There's a whole lot of
There you
stuff
go.
to look at.
So
and-
now you said that the buildings were bigger. So how was it laid out? We all know that
Okay.
we were basically like sardines in Schaumburg. So you said was the convention just on one floor? Was it on 4 floors? We can't see it, but just give us a little bit of a sense of how much larger it was. I mean, you talked about it a
Sure.
little bit sooner, but was the vendor hall like one, like double the size, triple the size? Just in your estimation.
Sure. I guess we would say the main hall. The main hall being Asmodee on one side, vendor hall in the middle, Games Workshop on the right. Kind of like how it was back in Schaumburg. It was probably not a little bit bigger. I would say though that it was better made use of the space. So like Games Workshop still only had 2 sets of tables, 2 aisles worth of tables on each side, but they were made use of a whole lot better. Like there was probably a similar number of tables as in Schaumburg, but with the extra space, there was an extra wide aisle down the middle, and there was a little more space between tables. And realistically, just the tables were full. Like there weren't any just empty tables just hanging out in the back or wherever. It was full. It was filled. There were events all over the place. Same with the Asmodee side. Just a little bit wider than Schaumburg, but definitely better space utilization. And as far as the vendor hall goes, there were 4 or 5 whole aisles to go down. Let's see.
Oh, very, very cool. So a lot of the same faces, or did you notice anybody like big and new, or is it just kind of the wash, rinse, repeat kind of thing?
Mostly repeats, a few new faces, actually a fair number of new faces, and that's always good. I'd say most are repeats, but there's like more locals to here versus locals to Chicago area. So it's kind of the same thing, but Wisconsin version instead of Chicago version.
Very, very cool.
Mm-hmm. Some of the vendors had bigger booths than before. So as they obviously have gotten bigger since the last time they were around, or since last year, they got a bigger booth to compensate. So they got to show off more stuff. It was really cool.
Awesome. So Friday you did your off day. So Saturday it sounds like you went back to work, so to speak. So what did you guys end up doing on Saturday?
Well, my wife took the rest of the weekend off, that's fine. It's usually one tournament is her stick, and that's A-OK. But I went on and did Halo Fleet Battles, the old game by Spartan Games, now no longer in business.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. So now they don't produce that anymore. I wonder if Mantic will get the license for that.
So, kind of, maybe. Long-term plans, I hope that happens, but I also hope it's longer-term plans than what they wish to do for Armada, like we talked about in the previous one. I think we talked about it. Let's not talk about it. Moving on. I've heard that long-term plans, like multiple years down the line, it is possible that they might look into either picking it up or reimagining it or something. So, total rumor, totally out my butt. However, I have heard there's a slight possibility. So that would be really cool because, unfortunately, when Spartan went under and lost the license, Microsoft forced them to destroy all of the molds. So there's no way to get the original molds anymore. Super dumb, but I understand.
They're Microsoft. They can do anything.
Exactly.
So,
they have all the money.
They got all the money, all the power, and the IP. So,
yep.
But that's fine. We'll rebuild it. We'll rebuild it better than it was. Better, stronger.
Bigger and better. Yes, sir.
Yep.
So I did play. Totally fun game. I went 2-1 again because second game I made some silly mistakes, but had a good time, and I did win Best Painted in that one, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, nice! Congratulations. Did that come with a big medal too?
No, because it was such a small game. They declined to provide more than first, second, and third place for medals. But
well.
They did make a trophy for it. The team did, so I still had a trophy.
Oh, fantastic! That's good news.
Yeah.
So, did that take your whole day again, or?
It did, and actually, since that started at 10, it ended around 7:30, 7:38. So,
oh wow!
That was not a long
one. That's why I don't play. That's why I don't play a lot of tournaments at Adepticon. They go so long. So, but good,
they really
good
do.
For you. Yeah.
See, one of the really big parts about Adepticon for myself, my wife, and honestly my friends is the social aspect of it. Like, I have friends across, at least in this area, I have friends across game groups in Chicagoland, northwest suburbs, far west, not even suburbs, just kind of out in, we went to NIU, Northern Illinois University, in Illinois, me and a bunch of my friends that still play together. So, it's kind of like our annual reunion every time. And so, I get together with them, and then I have more game groups that I used to play with in further in the suburbs, and then now I have a bunch of groups up in Wisconsin here. I have like 3 different groups I play with here, 4 different, depending on who you're talking to. And so really, like, what we really like to do is just get around, see everybody, because we know they're all going to be there. And, we go out to dinner with some of them one day, try some others another day, or just, say hi and just catch up and do the social thing. So the long tournaments aren't super duper fun. Next year, we're going to look more into shorter tournaments, but obviously Armada we're going to do every single time. And we'll go from there and just see how it really pans out, because the long tournaments, I like playing but I also really just like being around the peeps,
Absolutely. NIU, the Huskies, right?
Yes, sir.
They're in the MAC. So, see,
Yep.
you didn't think
They're
I
doing
knew
all
that,
right.
did you? There you go. So, did you guys do anything on Sunday, or did you just pack up and head out? Sunday's always kind of like a getaway day for me because I always have the long drive.
Sure.
So,
Well, Sunday wasn't too bad because we're nice and close. And, we wandered around for a little bit, did some last shopping. And, of course, Sunday is when I picked up Halo, the board game, picked up the Spartan Edition because both it was on a cheaper price because, show specials. And then also we all got a coupon for playing in the Mantic game that took some more money off. And I was like, you know what? I can get this.
there you go. Sunday's
then,
when you
of course,
get the deals, man, because nobody wants to take it home.
Exactly. Nobody wants to take anything home, which totally get it. So, yeah, we tried to get whatever deals we could. And there were a few to be had, including that. And that's when we were able to catch up with Blake some more and just jam about Armada and Halo and all the good jazz. And, so we did
Very
that.
good.
And then I picked up my non-winning, non-finalist, non-even noticed Golden Demon models and took my leave. It was a good day.
There you go. So did Blake spill any insider Armada knowledge?
I don't
Or
think
anything
more than
else
what
you
we already
hear,
know.
rumor-wise,
I don't think more than what we already know.
Oh, okay.
No. Nothing really new.
The big question on the vault is, are we getting more boats? So is there going to be another, I guess, faction of ships coming out? So everybody loved the Abyss.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure we are. Yeah. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there's more releases coming down the line. I mean, there's more factions in the game that haven't even been touched yet. So we'll see if some cool stuff happens, like some crazy rat ships or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. Is that what you're rooting for, the Ratkin ships?
I can't wait to see what they come up with for them, if they do, because it's naturally going to be full of crazy experiments and science nonsense. But I'm sure it'll be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. Have you seen anybody print up the Abyss fleet yet?
No, I haven't, and I'm tempted on that because have a giant demon sitting on a ship just going, get him.
That's the model I want to see, is the one with the big Abyssal Champion or whatever in the middle there. Oh yeah. I think that would be awesome to see.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
haven't seen any, but forward to it.
I'm just rocking the FDM printer, so I think that some of the bigger ships take like 9-10 hours to print. It's like I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet because I'm
sure.
But the small ones I can knock out like in an hour, or maybe a little bit more. So I've got some more small fleet stuff going on, but yeah, so very, very cool. Well, on one of our upcoming episodes, Andrew, I'm going to throw my new idea at you for Armada, but I'm not going to spoil it right now. We got to leave a little mystery out there for our next episode. So.
Sure do.
Very, very good. All right. So any other knowledge you want to impart on us? I'm assuming you would encourage everyone to go to Adepticon?
Absolutely. Adepticon is probably the biggest, most awesome show you can go to, and walking the door is free. You cannot say that about pretty much any other convention out there. You can walk in for free, check it out, buy stuff, get hopes for next year, and then, that's just how they get you, because you get in for free the first time, but after that, you want to do something, got to pay for it. Anyway, it's not bad. Totally fun event. The venue, amazing. Way better than last year and previous years combined. Lots of good food to be had. I mean, when they announced it was going to be in Milwaukee, I was all excited to honestly just go to food all day long with my friends rather than play games. Just try out, that food place looks good. That food place looks good. That one looks good. Let's all go to all these. Didn't hit remotely half of what I wanted to, but yeah, I guess
it just gives you a reason to come back next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because we already have places in mind I want to go. If I had two suggestions, first would be getting a hotel that is either across the street or linked somehow is vastly preferred to one that is across the river. or even just a couple blocks away. Not that everybody can get it, because the crush to get your hotel room right away it's a crush, but highly recommend getting as close as you can. Second thing, if you can't do that, then one of the things they did this year was have some like pre-reserved parking spots at a place called the Clark Garage, it was just like a block away. Naturally, it's uphill, but I digress. And the good news with that is that, so for myself, I purchased a reserve ticket, or basically I reserved a slot for myself from Wednesday through actually Monday morning. And at $15 a day, I paid like $60, and I had no worries about parking whatsoever the entire weekend. And that itself takes a huge load off. And it wasn't really that expensive. So.
Oh yeah, so you can actually reserve a parking spot in the garage?
Yeah. So this was a garage that was
That's
connected to a hotel, which was close to it. As for the Baird Center itself, you can't. I don't think you have the ability to reserve a spot, but they had lots of parking there, so I don't think it was really a problem for anybody. We'll see how the stories come out of that moving forward. But if you can reserve a spot using like Secure Pass or Secure Park or Spot Hero, whatever, highly recommend you do it, so that it's just out of sight, out of mind. You go there, park, and have a good time.
Right, you know where your spot is. Yeah, I was blown away last year how far I had to park away from the convention center building in Schaumburg. I had never parked in the reserve lot before. My mind was blown how far away I had to park.
Oh, that one
and
across
I was there
the
at like
street.
7 in the morning. It's like, what the heck?
And realistically, that was a farther walk, because I had to do that last year too once. It was on Sunday, actually. It was on Sunday. I had to go across the street there in that reserved parking lot by that other hotel, and then walk all the way over to the convention center. And that walk was farther than the parking garage that I went to by at least twice as far. It was crazy.
Wow. All right. Well, very cool. So do you have any other Armada tournaments coming up? Or is that it for the year? Or,
well, unfortunately, in the U.S., I think that is it. There might be one for the big tournaments that happen out in Michigan. I think they hold one there, but we'll see.
Michigan GT probably.
Yeah, Michigan GT. That's it.
Yeah. And then I know we're doing Learn to Play events at the Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio in June.
Okay.
So if you're in the Columbus, Ohio area, Mike Carter is actually going to be running the Armada Learn to Plays. So it's
cool.
not exactly a tournament, but we try to draw people in. I love playing in it every year, just because it's fun to play Armada, and you get some people, you get into learning games, and it's fun. You always got Mike to answer all your questions, and it's just kind of nice to just roll up. And last year I played. It was a family of 4, I think, came in and took like half the spots out of. I think Mike runs 8 people. And they took like half the spots. So it was a mom and 2 kids, mom and a dad and 2 kids. And so I think I played one of the kids. But we had a blast. It was a lot of fun, And,
awesome.
Hey, you try to get people into the game. So it's always a good thing. Absolutely. All right. Sounds good. All right. So any other parting words or encouraging thoughts?
Get your ships painted, and we'll see you on the high waves.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, and I'm glad you had a great time at Adepticon. I'm a little jealous. I'm going to try to make it there next year. I'm glad you got it all scouted out for us.
Oh, yeah. We'll show you where the best places are.
Sounds good. All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of MUP Armada. And until next time, take care.
Bye-bye.